In this video, I'm going to try to show you why dividing fractions works the way it does, why we need to use the reciprocal when we're dividing. Let's start off with a basic one. If I had 6 divided by 3, what that means is I have 6 things and I'm going to put them in 3 groups. So I would do that by that's one group, there's 2 groups, there's 3 groups. So 6 divided into 3 groups equals 2 in each group. So my answer is 2. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Now, if I show you that with fractions, it would look like this. If I had 3 divided by 1/4, it would look like this. I have 3 items, and I'm going to put them in groups of fourths. I'm going to put them in groups of fourths. So, first thing I need to do is cut these into 4 equal pieces, so I have fourths. So, I've got 3, and I cut them into fourths, or groups of fourths. So how many groups do I end up having? Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. My answer is 12. Now you might think that's odd that my answer is larger than what I started with, but look at the concept. I started with 3, and I want to know how many fourths are in those 3. So I cut them into 4 equal pieces, each one, and then I counted them, and I ended up with 12 equal pieces, or 12 groups of fourths. Now, how does that look if I were to multiply that out? Well, it would look like this. 3 divided by 1/4 is the same thing as 3 times the reciprocal, or the flipped version of 1/4. That would be 4 over 1. And we already know from previous lessons that 4 over 1 is really just 4. So 3 times 4 is 12. So that's how it works that way. Let's try another one. In this example, I have 1/4 divided by 3. In other words, I've got 1/4 of something, and I'm going to cut it into 3 equal pieces. That's what the divided by 3 means. So, if I have this circle right here, all I want to do is represent fourths. So this piece right here represents 1/4. Now I want to cut 1/4 into 3 equal pieces. Okay, I'm going to try to do that with red here very carefully. Okay, so there's 3 somewhat equal pieces. Now I want to know, then what size are those pieces? If I took 1/4 and cut it into 3 equal pieces, what is the size of just one of those pieces? Well, I would have to continue to cut my fourths, so I see that I end up with 12 equal pieces. So each one of those pieces then would be 1/12. Now that's an example of me taking 1/4 and cutting into 3 equal pieces. Each of those pieces then would be 1/12. Now how does that work if I multiply it out? Well, I take my 1/4, turn it into a multiplication problem. It's times, and I need to use the reciprocal of 3, which means I need the flipped version of 3. Well, 3 isn't a fraction. I have to turn it into a fraction. It's 3 over 1. The flipped version then would be 1 over 3. If I multiply that out, 1 times 1 is 1, 4 times 3 is 12. I get the same answer because either way, 1/4 divided by 3 is 1/12. It can be tough to try to understand why dividing fractions works that way. The easiest thing to do is just understand the directions. You turn a division problem into a multiplication problem by flipping the divisor or by using its reciprocal.